mind-reading technology. If you were just thinking impossible, well, guess what? I just read your mind. I'm kidding. Have you ever wondered what someone else was thinking? Of course you have. Maybe your significant other, stranger, friend, a coworker, boss, or even your professor. We have always assumed that the contents of our thoughts would always be to ourselves, left in secret or in private, unless intentionally or in many situations mistakenly said aloud or made into action. Today, neuroscience research have reached new heights with results that until recently were only considered science fiction. There are many researches and technologies being developed, and one of the technologies that I'll be talking about is functional MRI, or in short, fMRI. Now, we've all heard of MRIs, which are widely used in the medical field. These machines use magnetic fields and radio waves to form snapshots of our body and brains for all sorts of analysis. Functional MRI uses MRI technology and is a scan that allows new technology to scan the brain in real time. With the use of supercomputers, it then sorts through massive amounts of information in order to identify what it is that you are thinking. For example, when we think of a particular thought, let's say a car, our brains develop a certain pattern. Though our minds relate to objects differently, the patterns are similar enough that when we think of them, these supercomputers sort through its database and identify the item it is that you are thinking of. An experiment was done at Carnegie Mellon University where they asked individuals to think of 10 specific objects. Then it recorded the activity of their brain for each, and the computer identified the thought that was occurring. How does it recognize these patterns, and where is it getting its information from? Studies have found that when we think of a thought, neurons start shooting at all different levels of intensity all throughout the brain, creating patterns. These scans are used to produce maps of activity during the thought process. Though maps change depending on what the person is thinking, global research from fMRIs are stored into a database. With the support of the U.S. National Science Foundation, scientists are able to share their data on a platform called OpenFMRI, enabling researchers to easily and securely share information using a standard format. Some researchers are calling it mind reading, as others are calling it simple thought identification. Now, I would love to go further into detail of these researchers, but I want to tell you where we currently are and briefly explain just a couple of the many things as to what is being planned with these new developments in the near future, such as MindSense. Jaguar and NASA have been collaborating to create a car that can effectively read a driver's brain activity in order to identify when they are daydreaming or feel sleepy. There will be an onboard computer constantly monitoring the driver's brain waves to access their level of focus through sensors embedded in the steering wheel that will detect brain activity through the driver's hands. Focus too little and the steering wheel will vibrate. But wait, that's not all. If the habit continues, an icon on the dashboard will appear and then make noise alerting of potential hazard. This I can see as saving lives, for sure. Now, at the University of Yale, fMRI researchers were able to accurately reconstruct images as viewed by other people in real time. They will show an individual an image, and the computer through the brain scans would reconstruct the image. We can see how, for the purpose of criminology, this will be of great use to accurately coming up with an image of a perpetrator, or recollecting the memory of a crime scene. Now, if you're thinking what I'm thinking, how far is this going to go? Studies using technology that are currently being developed uses beams of light remotely that can be projected onto your forehead aimed at your frontal cortex, and will use receptors that take the reflections of these lights to make an image in order to see what your thoughts are. And if you were thinking impossible when I began, well, rethink possible. You can only imagine of all the possibilities with these new developments. Well, actually, be careful what you imagine. Someone might steal your idea.